Hello again everyone, GreymanX6 here, and it's time for my first pickup video of 2025. Yep, and we're gonna go right ahead with the two big ones, center stage. We got the DC Direct Icons version of classic Supergirl, and we got the DC Multiverse McFarlane version of Kilowog from that Amazon 2-pack with Kyle Rayner. This is gonna be a big deal because we're gonna do a bit of a comparison with what was on the shelf representing them previously. Alright, here's what I meant. These are both from Mattel. This is the DC Universe Classics Build-A-Figure version of Kilowog, and oddly enough, despite McFarlane doing 7-inch scale, these are about the same height. And we have the later DC Multiverse Mattel live-action Arrowverse Supergirl. I think the actress's name is Melissa Benoist. But whatever, just, we can see the biggest improvement right away. I mean, complain all you want about the MCU these days and the products, but oh man, the face printing technology does a much better job of emulating their likenesses today. You only gotta step back a decade to see that, don't want to insult a woman for her looks, but woof. If camera focus. Yeah, the camera doesn't want to focus. It's that hideous. Not as bad as that one Invisible Woman face sculpt in Marvel Legends, but close. Anyway, what about the rest of the figure? Well, I got this because I just needed a Supergirl in classic blue and red. Mattel's DC Universe Classics didn't really have that. It had her bearing her midriff and had her in white and red, kind of like the old DCAU cartoons. How's functions this figure? Well, okay, 90 degrees, raises her arms, single jointed elbows and knees, no ankle rocker, but does hinge back and forth. Nah, not really. Those are pretty tight. Nicely hidden thigh cut. Legs go out a decent amount. Not much in head movement. We do get a waist swivel in this ab crunch. Believe it or not, the current McFarlane standard ab crunches, I mean diaphragm joints, seem to get more range than this ab crunch, and that's saying a lot. Then again, the current Supergirl for that McFarlane made, the Target exclusive or something, I hear that's not a very good version either, so it just seems to be hard to get a good classic blue and red Supergirl. And in 6-inch scale, this is pretty much the definitive version, which is why it tends to run so much. It can go well over $100. How much did I get this for? Less than $100. Let's put it that way. I'm grateful for that. So let's compare. Unlike most of the old Mattel DC figures, and until the last few years, most Marvel Legends figures, she's got double jointed elbows and knees. She doesn't really get a thigh cut. That's one thing this Supergirl has. But you do get a bit of twist in the hips. DC Multiverse from McFarlane tends to give you more. And you have an ankle rocker. And the ankle hinge isn't as tight. And her wrists both hinge and twist. That one doesn't have hinges in the wrists. And the hair keeps her from going back, but you can move forward a bit more and you get more play side to side. So already this is not only a big improvement over that Supergirl, but just a decent figure altogether. Alright, let's take a look at this old... Now, just looking at him, just for being comic accurate, technically this would still win by default. We got the white in the gloves, he's got these wonky proportions, which you would expect from bizarre alien biology, being Bullovaxian, I believe. So, as opposed to McFarlaneization, say, having a slimmer frame and all the weird textures and stuff and not having the white. Alright. Okay, move side to side. You get a little bit of play up and down. Good movement in the... forget the live action. Good movement in the shoulders, but this one's kind of loosey-goosey. You get a bicep swivel. Oh, that's right. This Supergirl has a bicep swivel, where this one, of course, does not. Single-jointed elbows and knees. Oh! Oh! That is unfortunate. Well, good thing I can get another BAF piece later. Wow! What is it with Mattel and their old figures? Especially Green Lantern ones. That movie Green Lantern I had just kind of fell apart too. Anyway, let's finish this up. Oh god. Good thing this is a BAF so I can get another piece later, but god damn. Okay. Waist twist, ab crunch set. Really doesn't give you a lot of play. Oh god, that is embarrassing. That is so embarrassing. 2 Green Lantern figures just falling apart on me, the leg snapping on camera. God damn! Oh well. Girl, just stand. Don't ruin this take now. Supergirl? Alright. Now let's look at this Kilowog. Let's look at the head. Doesn't have... has less up and down play than the Mattel one did. Side to side is fine. Oh, and I seem to be cursed with getting Kilowogs that have really loosey-goosey shoulder joints. But you do get a lot of play thanks to the rotator cuff. Only single-jointed elbows, which you would expect for a stocky character. But you do get wrist hinges, along with being able to twist them. And even though he doesn't have as big of a Green Lantern ring, you do have the symbol just fixed right into... Come on, focus, focus! You did this when I tried to look at Sinestro's ring before. Alright, and we got the standard McFarlane diaper. Hips go out that way. Is this gonna snap on me? It fucking better not. As usual, no thigh cut, and not much twist in the hip, but we do get double jointed knees. We don't get any boot cut, but we do get... It doesn't even get any ankle... You can't really move it side to side either, but we do get toe articulation and pivot. So, I was also talking about the other Kilowog from Mattel. Oh, thanks a lot, Supergirl. Does look way more comic accurate while they try to do a bunch of embellishments, McFarlaneization, doing their own thing, but you know what? That's kind of why I got that Sinestro figure from them, even though I got no real place to put it. You know, all the textures, it's like jazzing them up. I kind of like it. I mean, makes them look... gives them like a military uniform look, which is what you want since Kilowog's kind of a drill sergeant. So, yeah, the other one, aside from having that bad knee joint that fell apart, looks more comic accurate. This guy, and again, this guy having a slimmer frame as to how bulky Kilowog looks in the comic, he's got the look. He just looks badass, rugged, dignified in that uniform. Also, he comes with this big-ass lantern. And the other accessories have... Oh, yeah. The 2-pack with Kyle Rayner came with this hammer and this sword. What am I supposed to do with these, though? What's wrong, you little poozers? No Pico hammer? No Buster sword? No problem! Alright, since we got our biggest pickups of January out of the way, let's address the big rat in the room. literally. I had another trip, this time down to South Florida to see some family and to take my father to a hockey game. His Red Wings came to town, and they thumped my defending Stanley Cup champions, but being the rodent lover that I am, I just had to. Early in the Panthers' existence, there was this thing they did where whenever they'd score a goal, the fans would toss toy rats onto the ice, and they're still running with that theme. So I just had to get something to remind me of that, and them actually winning the Stanley Cup last year, because, god damn. I remember when they first got to the Stanley Cup, like within 2 or 3 years of their existence, and then getting swept by the Colorado Avalanche in the mid-90s. That left a big hole in my young heart that's now finally been filled. Now I'll always have this cute little stuffed rat to remember that. And also on this trip, we made a stop at like one of those Tanger outlets and go into a Ross, and I see these weird G.I. Joe figures that they made for the dollar stores and stuff. I had never actually seen any of these until then. So I figured, why not? For $2? Yeah, these were supposed to be like $5 and stuff, and even then they couldn't get rid of them, I guess. I guess G.I. Joe just isn't as big a draw anymore, like My Little Pony and Transformers still are. So yeah, here's the dollar store Baroness out of her packaging alongside the regular G.I. Joe classified Baroness. The original one that came with the bite. Remember how hard that was to get? Ugh. Anyway, not much to go over in terms of articulation because there practically is none. She moves her arms up and down and all around, and that's it. Reminds me of those old Final Fantasy VIII figures. And assuming that Baroness was still hard to get to in classified form, I don't think she'd really be a good replacement because 5.5 inches, where it's Baroness, both Baronesses, really? While the regular release is just over 6 inches. But yeah, might as well have this Baroness around as a novelty, especially considering that her voice actress, Morgan Lofting, 2024 took her from us before the year was out. Also, again, I keep forgetting to bring out my tape measure, even though it's right here. So, belatedly measuring Supergirl. A lot like Baroness, just over 6 inches. Kilowog, just at or a little over 9 inches. Okay, moving on to my other pickup while I was down in South Florida, we got The Simpsons game. Not based on that awesome 2007 movie, but released around the same time, and this is pretty much the last good Simpsons game I needed for my collection, because I don't know about you kids today, but back in my day, there were Simpsons games out the ass, mostly dribbled out by that turd burglar Acclaim, and they ranged from average to just blah. The only good one was, such happy memories, going to Chuck E. Cheese for a birthday party, and we'd all crowd around that 4-player arcade cabinet, popping in quarters. People shouting, "Hey, if you're this character, don't move," because they wanted to see the idle animation, just whiling an hour or so away, just beating up thugs and just having a blast. And then there was Simpsons Hit and Run. I still have the GameCube version, not handy right now, but then that became the Simpsons game. Will this one top it? I don't know, but I've heard mostly good things about it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the instructions, but the disc mostly looks okay. Yeah, more or less. Needs some cleaning, probably. Anyway, since they were charging a bit too much for it, but I had to bring back one gaming pickup, and that was the one that piqued my interest the most. Now lastly, another thing from my physical media collection, we got the 6th Yurusei Yatsura movie, Always My Darling. This is good because I think most of the streaming options available for purchase or whatever are just English dubbed, and I prefer having the option. There are some cases where I'll go for the dub, but just options are good. Anyway, these physical versions, especially the Blu-rays, tend to go for a pretty penny, so when I saw this for under 20 bucks, I went ahead and splurged. No real inserts. Oh, we got a different cover on the inside, but you can still switch it out for the one displayed on the slipcover. That's nice. And again, this is brand new, so the disc looks A-okay. So yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch this yet. As for the series itself, that's one of the ones I need to go back and finish, along with, also from Rumiko Takahashi, all of Ranma 1/2, and Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card, and Neon Genesis Evangelion. I mentioned that last time. But how long is this? 77 minutes. I got no excuse to pop this in real soon and have a blast. I mean, it's always just some comfort food, some good feels, some Yurusei Yatsura, you know? And that's it for my first pickup video of 2025. Don't know how much more I'll be getting because the shelves are getting mighty full.